Uh, so everybody understands. By the way, this is still in draft form. In fact, this was actually clipped out for the motor control lab. So some of the things in here is probably in motor control that won't pertain to this class. We're going to wear safety glasses when we're over on the manufacturing line, right? We're not going to wear short pants or open-toed shoes. We're not going to wear synthetic clothing, right? Everybody understand that? The next one won't apply to this class because we don't even have 240 volts available in here, unless it's in the storage room. So the maximum voltage that we'll deal in here would be 120 volts, which is on our wall outlets. 24 volts on the line, but to get 24 volts, you have to bring what in? You have to bring 120 in, so there is 120 volts on the power supplies on the lab. Lockout and tag out rules and procedures must be followed. In motor controls, you did tag out. I did lockout. So lockout is the process of locking out the power source, right? You understand that? By an authorized person. And of course, in motor controls, I was the only authorized person that had the ability to do the lock. And what did y'all do? Y'all did the tags, right? And here you're going to be responsible for lockout and tag out. So we got locks and tags for the class. We're not going to work on this, do any maintenance while while power sources are energized. Here the power source should be in plural because we have two power sources. We have electrical and pneumatic on our system, right? And we need to lock out both power sources. Okay. Are we okay? No eating or dip bottles. I had to put dip bottles. I got people in my class that go to a lab and they'll have to be spitting over there in their dip bottles in class. So that's, by the way, the college policy is no tobacco products are supposed to be in the building. So you're not even supposed to be using spit bottles in here. You're supposed to be doing those out in designated areas, right? Y'all know that, right? It says, well, if you look at the tobacco policy, it says tobacco products. And that's one of the grossest things around, guys. If you dip, I tried it once. That's back when I was an idiot, though, when I tried a bunch of them. No chairs allowed by the manufacturing line. Of course, if you got a disability like I do, then I can't come over there. Not following procedures will deduct from your lab grade. Experiments will be performed in groups of no more than 3 students. So we understand that, right? And we've got 5 in this class, so we're going to split up in 2s and 3s. And then we'll try to figure out how we're going to rotate the groups during the term. So what are you going to do before you start? You're going to get your lab grade form. 1 per student. And maintenance forms you're going to do as a team. So we have 2 forms we're going to do in here. We're going to have the lab grade form that grades the labs, and then the working on the system or fixing the system when it breaks. That's going to be as a team. So you have you'll have 1 maintenance form per team, but each person in the team is going to do a lab grade form, right? That makes sense. We okay? And a lot of the labs in here are not going to be written up. They're just going to be troubleshooting. Obtain a team maintenance form when performing troubleshooting labs, 1 per team. Fill in the required information at the top of the restricted form before starting the lab. No more than 1 lab grade form or maintenance form out at a time, right? It always bothers me in PLC and motor controls. You go over there and I'm trying to sign a form and there's 5 forms up there. People got forms that they're still working on, but don't do that. Not having a lab grade form or maintenance form filled in with required information will result in a 10-point deduction on labs are worth 100 points, by the way. What do you need to do when you're ready for sign off? There'll be a list up here. You'll come up here, and probably in this class we probably won't have to do that. So I don't know. I think we'll drop the sign off form. Students must take, and what we're going to do is one of the team members is going to be the team leader, and then you're going to have the 2 workers or the technicians, right? You understand that? One technician, right? 1 team leader, and then what are you going to do? You're going to have to do what? It says students must take turns as team leader. Each member must document who the team leader is, plus the other members of your team. And what you're going to do, so what you're going to do is we're going to start off, of course, first thing we're going to do is lock out, tag out, and you're not going to make them see your presentation of that. But the next thing we'll do is we're going to do, which one y'all do first, charge, function charge. There's no inventory here. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. First off, we're going to sign up for a group. We're going to do, let's do function chart. So with the function chart, we'll assign y'all to a module. We'll break the line apart. So that's the first thing we're going to have to do is figure out that's going to be part of the lab is breaking the line apart, right? You understand that? You're pulling out the modules we're going to do. We're going to do modules what? No, we're going to do modules 2 and 3. We've already done step 1, module 1. So if I assign one y'all one group module 1, you say, so we're going to do modules 2 and 3 in this class. And we'll do function charts. You can write your function chart on one of these whiteboards. So we'll pull these whiteboards out, and you'll put your function chart on the whiteboard. And then what we'll do is once we get the function charts done, each team is going to present to the other team their function chart. Okay. Is it going to be right? We don't know. It might be right. It might be wrong. It's just going to give you an idea of basically how this would go back, right? We just don't want blanks. We want you to give a really good shot at this, right? And then once you make your presentation to the class, then we'll do we'll do step charts. Okay. So before you set your charts up, what's the first thing you'll have to do? You have to take it to its steps, but you probably already know that from the function chart, how many step charts you're going to have. Okay. And you draw your step chart up on the board. You'll make your own. And then after that, once you go through the process and see the requirements of the function charts and the step charts, when we actually get the troubleshooting, we'll actually use the actual charts. We have basically a booklet on every manual, every module of the line, which has the step charts, the function charts. It has the port assignment for the PLC, which is really nice. So you can literally go down and check to see what input is true and what input is false. But that'll be later on. All we're going to do tonight is just get a feel of the development of function chart and the step chart for a module, and then you'll present it to the other group. Right, you understand? And then we'll swap back and both of y'all have to present that. So even when we do troubleshooting, that's something you're going to have to do. It's once we troubleshoot, y'all going to present what you, the process you went through on troubleshooting, what you figured out, and that kind of stuff too. So we make it present. What's nice, this class is real small, and y'all know everybody. And so teams will make presentations to the class on results of most lab assignments, a question and answer period. So when you get through, that's what you need to do when you make a presentation. You need to ask what. Does anybody have any questions? And then let the other team have, of course, I will have questions, right? So, I won't be a member, but I'll be listening to your presentation. Instructor, check your work. I don't know if we're going to leave that. Most labs in here are not developed, so we're going to kind of develop as we go along. This is only the second time the class has been taught, and I need to find the list of classes to test. By the way, anytime you so basic safety checks. So once you do any repair on the line, I'm going to come over there and just make sure that it's not going to burn up when you turn it on, right? Just for a basic safety check. Motor controls. I'm not saying that it's going to work. All I'm saying is that it's not going to burn up. And then if it burns up, it's my fault, and it's not yours. Which I should have did in sensors the other night, right? And of course, Thomas asked me if I wanted to do it, and I said no. So, Lab grade storms, you don't take lab grade forms at home, right? Everything stays here. But I don't have them out yet. I'll pull them out right now. Normally, most of our manuals and stuff will be on this pneumatic table up here, the one on the left by the Snap-on box there. Question and answers, we're not going to have that. But once you get your completed experiments, you need to staple all your documentation together, right? Except for maintenance forms. Maintenance forms don't staple to anybody's lab forms. Those will be turned in separate because you do that as a team. That's pretty much well the lab procedures. Like I said, this is still in draft form. This is the lab form, pretty standard lab form. The blank lab forms will be over here on the pneumatic table. They're already over there. Then the maintenance form. So everything in here is the maintenance form we're gonna simulate. So I'm not gonna break wires, right? You understand that? I'm not gonna break things. We'll simulate them being broken. Everybody understand that? Add connections, which is very, very common. We've got the planes that I worked on. The P3s were like $32 million airplanes. And when I was in there, we got brand new. We went from what they call P2s. I'm sorry, we went from the P3Bs over to the three P3Cs. And let's first fly these things in here. And we had one all of a sudden, one of the generators went out of money. And we went out there and did some stuff, normal, just basic troubleshoot stuff. The regulators, they call them supervisor panels, so we saw them out and it still didn't work. And so come find out that one of the technicians back at Lockheed stripped one of the wires that installed the insulation on. So when they crimped it on the insulation. Just the strands of the wire was coming out and touching the terminal all the time when it happened. They got loose, and the alternator stopped working. So, even new equipment, when you get new equipment, you'll find out that's probably when you'll find the most bugs, believe it or not, is when you get brand spanking new equipment that you get out there. And you get out there and it's been running in the shop for a while, and you get it in there and you put it on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You'll find things will pop up. In software, they call it beta testing. Before they actually hit beta testing is when they put it out to people who understand computers, and so they can get through with a bunch of errors. Then after the beta test, they released it to the public, and then they come out with service packs, right? Once it gets out there, people do things they didn't anticipate. So this is a standard maintenance form where you keep up with the names, the dates. You have to keep up. So when you fill in the information, of course, what's at the top of the maintenance form? Yeah, the leader name, the Tech 1, Tech 2 names, and then you put then down here the module number and the line you're working on. So right now, the line, all we're going to do is work on the Amtro line because, number one, the FESTA line is not set up to be locked and tagged right now. So it's in different modules. It's not designed to be able to tear it apart real easy. But we're going to order the parts to do that. Then the day you receive the gripe, and then when you put it in work, which should be about the same time, right? And then what's next? This is the date you completed it. And then this is the number of hours that you worked on it. Not the amount of time between start and finish, but the amount of time you actually did what? Worked on it, right? You understand? So you start on the graph an hour before that starts. Begins, you work on it for an hour, and you go home. When it work, you did what? You don't count the amount of time you work off. You come back to the actual amount of time, and then after that, it's the amount of total hours. So it all depends how many people in your group. So we build the customer by what? by this right here. Then the discrepancy, what's the line doing? So this says line will not feed a valve housing. Then you sound the parts present sensor to be defective. Now our parts present sensor is not going to be defective, but somehow I'm going to simulate it, right? You understand that? These are optical sensors. It's very easy to make this thing like that. Just take a piece of black electrician's tape and cover up the sensor, and then it simulates it being what? Being bad. The wires, applications, these are pretty easy to simulate. A bad sensor will just, and then some of them we're just going to do remove and replace. So I'll say like, you know, the ultrasonic sensor is defective, remove and replace that sensor. And you'll go out there and you'll take it off, but it's not bad. So what will you do? You put the same one back on there, and then you'll go through the adjustment procedures of what is required by the sensor. So hopefully you're not going to cause any bad things to happen. And then if I do simulate a sensor, then you go through the process of doing the basically order, right? What would you use? Everybody okay on the maintenance form? Of course, this is how I'm going to deduct from your lab grade. So that's lab procedures. Like I said, some of them we're not going to do. I think like the topic quizzes right now, I don't think we have any for this class. So we'll probably go over those. And instructor sign off, pretty standard where we're going to have them at. We'll have them at each section. If you do any maintenance on there before we come back and pull the lockouts off and the tags off, right? Everybody okay? Any questions on this? And of course, these will be defined and moved along.